What is going on, beautiful people of the world? My name is Garrett Wolf, and I am the host of the #1 podcast for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs. I've built my body over the last 8 years, and in the last 3 years, I've helped hundreds of online clients shred unwanted fat and embody the best version of themselves. Now, let's jump right into today's show. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Alpha Movement Podcast. This is the #1 show for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, all without giving up the most enjoyable aspects of their life. In today's episode, I want to talk about realistic expectations, more specifically, unrealistic expectations when it comes to getting in shape, building muscle, shredding down body fat, and actually getting in the gym, what you can realistically expect to achieve from going on a fitness journey, from hopping on a fitness plan, from getting your water intake right, your food intake right, your muscle building stimulus proper. Because I think a lot of people have an unrealistic expectation. And I'm sorry if my mic just peaked. I'm going to have to turn that down. I think a lot of people have an unrealistic expectation when it comes to the gym. And I know I did myself back when I started when I was 14 years old. And how this sort of came about, well, I'll tell you how this sort of came about in a second because you guys already know the deal. If at any point during this podcast episode you enjoy what I have to say or you take some value from this podcast, would you please screenshot my motherfucking face? Share it to Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story, and I will send you a proper free gift, my friend. Guys, in any case, other than that, over these past few days, I've been in a bit of a haze. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm 4.5 weeks out from my show, and my birthday's coming up. My birthday's coming up in 3 days from now. So today's Sunday. It's coming up on Wednesday. And so I decided, being the fact that I was 4 weeks out, I should allow myself to go out with my friends and get a couple drinks, get a little bit of partying in before I got any closer to the show. Because the closer I get to the show, the less time I have to fix the damage that I do, right? So I was like, it's my birthday this week. Let's go out with the boys. Let's get some drinks. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's hit some clubs. And that's what we did. And we were out until about something like 4 a.m., 3:30, 4 a.m. is when I got home. And so we went out Friday night. I came home at like 4 a.m. Saturday morning. And that kind of just threw me into a haze. I mean, honestly, like when that happens, when you don't do it often, when you don't party often, and then you go out and you do something like that, it really fucking tarnishes your mind. It makes it like impossible to think. I was out till like 12:30, 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. the next day. And I woke up and I was like all foggy. I couldn't really think. I definitely couldn't think about fitness. All I could think about was getting some water in because I was severely dehydrated. And so I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know that, like, the less and less you do that kind of shit, like, the more and more of an impact it has on you. And I don't think you should cut that stuff completely out of your life fully, right? Because, like, it's really fun to do that kind of stuff, right? Hang out with your friends, go out and get some drinks, have some, nice dinner. We had some nachos. It was fun. It was cool. But, me and a couple of the other guys, we were like, damn, bro, we're doing this less and less and less. And, like, because we used to do it all the time in high school, right? And then the repercussions weren't so bad. But then obviously, like, the short term repercussions is what I'm talking about, like the hangover and the side effects and the mind fog and the blur. But obviously the long term effects of doing that stuff over and over and over again are going to start to add up. But we were like, damn, man, like, the less and less we do this, the harder and harder and harder it gets. And we're not even old yet. I'm turning 22. Some of my friends are 22, some of them are 21, and we're like feeling like old fucking men nowadays when you go out drinking and then you wake up the next day and you're like fucking just hung over as shit. Is like exactly what happened to us. And so yeah, I mean, that's where I've been the last few days. That's why I had to post one of my teachable trainings, because I couldn't do a podcast. I couldn't find it in me to hop on camera and talk about something because I was just in a blur, in a mind fog. And I just don't like that feeling. I like feeling like into my business. I like feeling into my goals. I like helping people, talking to people, because I didn't even want to get on the DMs. I didn't even want to talk to people. I didn't even want to interact with you guys. It's like that's something that I really, really love in my life, and I'm really grateful for it. And so I just want to thank you guys here for like being a part of it. And also, it's like I don't take it for granted by any means, is what I'm trying to say. When I can't do those things, I definitely miss it, and I just want to be able to do that and help as many people as I can for as long as I possibly can. But another thing happened while I was in sort of like a haze, sort of like in this little brain fog with my friends, is we started going pretty crazy viral on TikTok for once. And I've never gone
very viral on TikTok. The most viral I've ever gone is on Instagram Reels. I got about, I think it was 460,000 views on one of my videos. And so that was the most views I ever got on a video, like on just one single video. But then this weekend on TikTok, while I was kind of out with my friends, kind of just doing the thing, we got like two videos. One of them hit like 250K. Another one right now is currently at, I think, 550. It might even be at 600K now. And this, like, it was crazy what happened. This threw my profile into like a spiral of like all my videos just blowing up and blowing up. I used, I posted for the longest time on TikTok, only getting 100 to 200 views over and over and over again for like 2, 3 years, right? Like never blowing up, never ever blowing up. But of course, I'm a fucking I'm a frustrated motherfucker and I'm very dedicated to the things that I do. And so I dedicated to building this brand, to building my name, to building my voice. And so I just kept posting and posting and posting. And finally, a same type of video that I usually post. The same video. It was just a talking video of me talking about something. It was a clip from the podcast of me literally talking about something. I was talking about how to lose like 5 to 10 pounds in 2 weeks. It was like a 14-day challenge video, and it just blew up. It got to like 600K. And another one was just a nice little funny reaction video that I made about some guy who was like absolutely massive doing behind the neck lat pull downs, and I was like saying how that's not optimal and shit. And it was pretty funny. But in any case, they just blew up, and it's still spiraling and spiraling. I gained like 4,000 followers. I went from like 12K to 16K, which I'm like stoked about, dude, because that does not happen on any other social media account. And so I'm just like finally seeing what the Gary V's and the Ryan Pinedas and the Brad Lees and the Grant Cardones, what they're all talking about. They're like, dude, the volume on TikTok, you just post and post and post, and something will pick up. Like, I know it takes years, 2, 3 years is how long I've been doing it. And finally, it just blew up. And I'm so excited about that because, dude, we're about to hit 20K on TikTok. And that's just like, that's crazy. It's giving me hope. Is like, if I keep this up, if I can keep this up for the next year, I might be able to hit 100K in a year. And I would be so, I've never had 100K on any social media platforms. That would be so freaking cool. I think that'd be like one thing that I've always wanted is 100K followers because that's just a ton. And then of course the next goal is a million. I mean, I really do want a million. That just one M is insane. And then in any case, also I think the content just might be getting better and better and better because on YouTube I've been blowing up also. I'm at half a million views on YouTube now, which is insane. Half a million views, 500,000 views. I went from like 300 subs to 710 subs. So we're almost at 1,000 subs. And so guys, I mean, I'm just a practitioner. Like, you guys who are the OGs right now, who are watching me now, just wait 3 to 5 years. I'm gonna be blown up on all platforms, millions of followers across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're gonna have hundreds of thousands of subs because I know getting to a million on YouTube is like one of the harder tasks, right? You have to become like a videographer, full time producer, like guy to blow up on YouTube. And I understand that about YouTube, but maybe it's just another limiting belief. We'll see what's good. But on Instagram and TikTok, I'm definitely gonna pass a million, and I'm definitely gonna be one of the biggest fitness brands out there. I promise you that. So you people that are watching now, stick around, man. Stick around, and I'm not gonna let you down. And I just wanted to mention that to kind of preface the thing about unrealistic expectations. Because here's the thing. Give me a second here. When you blow up on TikTok, obviously I got thousands of comments, right? Literally thousands of comments. About half of them were positive. And then about half of them, these little TikTok troll motherfuckers, come to my profile and they say things like, bro, you don't look like you've been lifting for 8 years, or bro, 8 years of lifting for what? And then one guy was like, dude, I've been lifting for 2 months and I look better than you. And so, listen, I try to stay as neutral as possible, not look at the positives, not get too drunk on the positives, getting high on my own supply, and I try not to go too bad into the negatives. I try not to get too down on myself from these people because especially when I click on their profile and they're like a 13-year-old kid who lifts for literally like a month and thinks he's jacked. But I don't want to bully any children, right? Maybe I do, but I don't need to right now. If you want to see some of that stuff, you can go to TikTok because I definitely clown the fuck out of them and I go to their profile because hey, you're gonna come to my profile, you're gonna put shit on my profile, try to stain my name, dude. You would never say that to me in real life, first of all. So I'm gonna go to your account and I'm gonna do the same thing that you did to me, eye for an eye, dude. That's the irony, all right? That's what happens. I'm not gonna sit back and be neutral. I'm not about that shit. I really am not. I'm not about sitting back and just taking bullshit from people who have no excuse to give out bullshit. Like it's just I've never left hate comments on people's profiles. I just cannot believe Like, what kind of headspace do you have to be to leave a hate comment? So if you're gonna clap at me, dude, I'm gonna clap back 10 times harder. And like that's how you kind of build an army too. It's how you build an audience because people can come to those videos and be like, yeah, you got him good, like an eye for an eye, clap for a clap. And then some people are going to dislike it. They're going to be like, why are you hating on a 13-year-old? And it's like, why? Because he's hating on me. Like, you got to teach him, bro. Someone's got to come in there and be the masculine figure in his life and tell him like, bro, you can't just talk shit to people who are better than you. Like, like that's just not how it goes in this world. You just can't do that unless you want to just be a loser for the rest of your life, unless you want to be a failure. Like talking down on people makes you feel like you're on a pedestal when you're not. And in fact, you are not. So I'm going to talk down to you and make you realize where you're actually at. So, and that's not me being on a pedestal, that's me defending myself, right? Because I would never go to his profile and talk shit out of the blue to someone that I don't know, to someone I've not, like, that would never be me. I would be encouraging them. But again, if you're going to come clap at me, you're going to get clapped back at. Like, I don't care what your opinion on that is. Like, I am just defending myself. And I'm not going to sit back and just be like this neutral party and just be like, oh, ignore the haters. Like, no, dude. No, why would I? Especially when I can turn them into hilarious content, right? But anyway, we're talking about realistic expectations because, guys, the funny thing is like none of the people who left these comments have been lifting for 8 years. None of them, right? Some of them, like I said, been lifting for 2 months. Some of them have been lifting for 2 years. Most of them, the vast majority of them, don't even lift at all. And they think they know so much about fitness by watching fitness TikTok. And so I think a lot of you guys, if you're consuming fitness content, are blinded by these people. People like Alex Eubank, people like David Lade, I love these two guys, by the way, but I'm just saying people are blinded by what they see. People like Steve Cook, right? People like The Rock, people like Thor, right? People like these Marvel heroes, these characters, these people in movies like Zac Efron, like Brad Pitt. You guys are blinded by these people. One thing to take into consideration is most of these actors, pretty much 100% of these actors, they take steroids to get in shape, right? Because they can afford to take steroids for 3 to 6 months, look like a fucking amazing movie star for just the time that they record, and then they hop off gear and they fix their hormones, and that's it. Now, bodybuilders, on the other hand, they blast and cruise and they do cycles over and over again because they have to keep competing until they win that pro card. That's far, way more unhealthy than it is to just do a couple cycles, do one cycle as an actor, and then come off right after that. That's way more healthy than blasting over and over and over again. Obviously, the more you use it, the longer you use, the worse the side effects are going to get, right? Just like drugs and alcohol. Exactly like that. Your hormones are going to get more and more fucked up. That's why it's so dangerous to be a bodybuilder long term, right? But the people like David Lade, like Alex Eubank, like these social media stars, these influencers that you're seeing looking insane, not only may they be blasting, we don't know for sure. I personally, you want to hear my personal belief? I think David Lade used to. I don't think he does anymore after he hurt his spine. As far as Alex Eubank, he probably took SARMs. He probably took SARMs at some point because his test was crashed all the way down to like 200 something. And that doesn't really happen unless you take test, right? And there's arguments that say like, test or SARMs is what he could have taken. And there's arguments where people say, like, oh, he's been lean for a long time, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, bro. Shouldn't happen. If it did happen, and if he was lean and his hormones were really that low, he would lose all motivation. He would have insane side effects in which he didn't have because he posts all the time on social. He's incredibly active. He's doing great work. I love the guy. Nothing against him. And if he's actually a lifetime natty, then boom, this is a great compliment for him. Seriously, like at the end of the day, doesn't really matter what I think. But these people, again, they come to my page and they're clowning on me because they're like, yo, it doesn't look like you've been lifting for 8 years, bro. Listen, dog. All right? Listen, bro. I'm a lifetime natural. I have never taken anything in my life. I am someone who's been lifting for 8 years. I started when I was 14. I'm going to be 22 again in 4 days. So I started when I was 14. And when I started, I had actually zero muscle because I was trying to be a pro gamer for years, for 5 years prior to that. So I would sit at my desk and play video games for 8 to 16 hours a day trying to be a pro gamer, and I actually had no muscle. I was just a fat little boy, sedentary little boy who had no muscle whatsoever. So I started at ground zero. I started in the negative because I had a ton of fat and I had no muscle. So when I say I've been lifting for 8 years, you have to understand where I came from and where I started from. I had zero muscle. I was about 195 pounds at 5'9" at 14 years old. I was just a bowling ball of gush, of gushers and Tootsie Rolls and pizza and mac and cheese. All right. And then, mind you, I didn't train perfectly right out of the gate. I probably still don't even train perfectly. Training perfectly is near impossible unless you have a coach that goes in with you every single day, which is secluded to the people who have the finances, not only the finances to be able to do that, but they actually know a good ass trainer slash coach in real life, which are not easy to come by. I'm not talking about just a normal gym trainer. Those people are ass. I'm talking about a bodybuilding coach who can go into the gym and actually train you, kind of like Sir Kyle, who trains Anthony Mantello, right? I don't really know anyone else other than that. But if you don't have someone like that, then you're not training properly. I don't care if you think you're training hard because I thought I was training hard too. I don't care if you think you're training properly because I thought I was training properly too. But I wasn't. All right. For the first 2 years of my lifting journey, I did HIIT workouts in my basement by myself just to try to lose fat. I did HIIT workouts, circuit training, which is like the dumbest thing ever to try to lose fat. And I just did that over and over and over again. I dropped my calories to 1100. This is true. I used to eat Ritz crackers as a snack, the little cheesy cracker thing as a snack. I remember that because it was so pathetic. It was literally 100 calories. I could only have 11 of them in one day if I wanted to. And I would never spend 1/10 of my calories on a Ritz fucking cracker. Like, I was doing it all wrong. I was so hungry. I was just sitting with the hunger pains. I was like head against the wall, throwing spaghetti against the wall, trying to be like this hard ass dedicated motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, these hunger pains are hard, but I'm going to be harder, dude. I'm going to stick through the pain. And it's just so stupid, guys. There's a healthy way to go about it. And I'm just now learning. This bodybuilding comp is teaching me a whole lot about it, right? I'm 4.5 weeks out. I'm finally learning what it really looks like to diet down healthily. And what it looks like is like you need portions of protein, which is literally like just meat. You need whole protein, which is meat, not from supplements, not from protein powders or protein bars or anything like that. You need real meat, right? Meat. You need vegetables, a ton of vegetables, a disturbing serving of vegetables. This is to keep you full. You need to stay full, or else you're gonna have to fight the hunger pains. And it's not healthy to fight the hunger pains. You don't want to do that. So you need to eat a shit ton of vegetables. Then you need clean carbs. You need starches, clean starches like rice, potatoes, like noodles, pasta is even good. Any kind of starch that doesn't have sugar because you don't want to spike your insulin levels, right? I'm just now learning all these ways to do it healthily, but we're talking about realistic expectations. Another thing, guys, is not everybody has elite level bodybuilding genetics. I have incredibly average fucking genetics, very, very average genetics. Now, it's not all a bad thing. I actually have pretty good shoulders for genetics. That's about it. I have pretty good genetic shoulders. And one way you can determine, like, you can kind of calibrate where your genetics are at is just by looking at your parents. Look at your dad, look at your dad's dad, and see, like, what is the muscle mass on him, even if he doesn't lift? Like, even if he doesn't lift, what's the muscle mass looking like? Because that is a key determining factor in how much testosterone he has. And it's a key determining factor in how much muscle you'll probably be able to build. And so, my dad and my grandfather, like none of my grandfathers or any of them is like, none of them are super huge. They're not jacked, right? They're not gigantic. They're just average people, normal people. They're not obese. They're not fat. They're not sedentary, they're not like depressed, like anything like that. They are just normal ass people, right? So it's average as fuck. My genetics are very, very average, which is fine. I can make up for it with a work ethic and a fucking godlike dedication level, which is what I'm doing. Guys, I went from 195 pounds fat all the way down to 156 shredded as fuck right now. I'm literally 156, like 10% body fat. I got veins going all up in my stomach. And yes, it took 8 years, but 2 years of it I was doing HIIT workouts. And then 3 years of it, I was doing track and field, and I was just working out with the seniors, thinking that I was, making it somewhere. But really, I was just like balls to the walls, hardcore dedication. Like, I was just doing 5x5s on the bench over and over and over again. But I wasn't eating right. My diet wasn't right. I didn't get enough water, right? I was just doing like bro workouts, trying to be like a dedicated, like hardworking person. But my diet wasn't right. I wasn't getting lean meats. I wasn't eating enough protein. And so by no means am I saying that I've done anything perfectly. I still don't do anything perfectly, right? But what I'm saying is you need to have realistic expectations. Like I said, I'm a lifetime natural. If you're going to be a natural, dude, your gains are going to come slow as fuck unless you have insane genetics. So for all these people commenting on my shit, like trying to be mean, like I don't take it personally. I get it. Like for you to come comment that shit on my page, Like, you must be in a pretty tough spot yourself. You must hate yourself on a pretty fundamental level to be saying some dumbass shit like that, coming to my page, talking shit about me, someone who's been lifting for 8 years, someone who has hardcore dedication, ferocity, and tenacity that you could only dream of having. I understand. I do. But what you need to understand is that you have no right to talk about somebody else's journey if you haven't even tried lifting for 8 years yourself. And when I go to these kids' profiles or these people's profiles and they're like, dude, you should look bigger for lifting for 8 years. And then I go to their profile and they don't even lift at all. It's like, man, how can you even say something like that? You are straight talking out of your ass. You have no idea because you haven't even tried it yourself. And guys, mind you, I used to think that I would be a lot bigger by now too, right? I'm not gonna lie. When I was 14, I trained underneath a guy named Big Brandon Carter. I used to do his hit workouts in my basement, and he was absolutely fucking massive, dude. He was like 205 pounds shredded as fuck. You should look him up right now on your computer if you're chilling there. Look up Big Brandon Carter on Google Images. He is massive. And I was like, you know what? If I just do these workouts in 5 years, I'll be huge too. It's not the case, guys. It is not the case, all right? It takes forever. And for me to hit my genetic limit, I'm not going to lie, it's going to take probably another 8 years. Unfortunately, it takes time. The first year, I probably put on 5 to 10 pounds of muscle. The second year, I probably put on 5. The third year, I probably put on 3. Now I'm putting on a steady like 1 to 2 pounds per year. So if I want to gain 10 to 15 pounds, it's going to take 8 years. All right. That's the sad truth is if you have average genetics, you're going to gain, a good amount of muscle at first, and then you're going to gain 1 to 3 pounds every single year. And that's just the unfortunate truth. You are not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger overnight. You're not going to look like Ronnie Coleman in 5 years. You are not going to look like David Lade in 3 years. You're not going to look like Alex Eubank probably ever, because that kid has some of the best genetics for lifting I've ever seen. If he has 102 nanograms per deciliter, or whatever it is, 200 and whatever nanograms per deciliter of testosterone, and he can maintain that physique that he has freaky genetics. Not to mention he is the god of angles and lighting, just like David Lade. You have to keep in mind, social media is not real. Guys, it's not real. What you're seeing is an illusion. It's an optical illusion. It's no better than an optical illusion that you see at a fucking loony bin, at a fun house. Like, I don't know where you go to see optical illusions, but like when you go on Google and you look up optical illusions, that is legit social media because they are they are putting the camera angle at such an angle where the lighting hits and bounces off your body at just the right angle to make it look sizable in a different manner, make it look bigger, make it look more round, make it look darker, make the indents look harder than they actually do in real life. And that is a straight optical illusion. And so I'm here to set the table for realistic expectations, guys. If you're average as fuck, this is what happened to me, and I have average genetics. So if you're average as fuck like I am, you can expect to gain 5 to 10 pounds of muscle if you're training as hard as you possibly can in the first year. Then you're going to gain 5 in the second year. You might gain 8 if you have a little bit better genetics than me and if you fix your diet properly and you actually train properly. Then the next year you're going to gain 3 to 5. Then the year after that, it's going to be 2 to 3. The year after that, it's going to be 2 again. Then it's going to be 2 again. Then it's going to be 1 to 2. Then it's going to be 1 to 2. And you better keep fucking training or you are never going to have the body of your dreams. And that's why I'm dedicated for life, guys. I'm not in it just for the fun of it. I'm not in it for a couple months. I'm not in it for only 8 years. I'm going to be lifting forever. And that's why I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a hurry to look like Ronnie Coleman because frankly, I never will. I'm not in a hurry to look like David Lade because frankly, I never will. I can only do what my body allows me to do. I was on a bench press plateau for 3 years. I was bulking trying to break the 275 barrier and my body it could not. I literally couldn't. I don't know why I couldn't. Maybe it was my diet. Mind you, I got enough protein, probably not from lean sources. I got it from protein powders and bars, but in any case, 3 years it took me to break a 275 bench press plateau. It took me about 4 years to hit 225 for the first time. Actually, yeah, about 4 years because I hit it when I was like 18. Yeah, I hit it in high school gym class. It took me 4 years to bench 225. I started from ground zero, mind you. So wherever you're starting from, some people have way better genetics. And if you do, you can probably gain a lot more muscle than what I'm talking about. But this is not the average. This is not a realistic expectation. People come to me all the time and they're like, I want to lose 100 pounds in 6 months. I'm like, cool, not possible. It's not possible. You guys need to rewire your brains. It's like I get it. Not all of you are practitioners. Not all of you understand what it actually takes to be in the gym this often, to do what I do, to do what these people do, to do what Alex Eubank does, to do what David Lade does. I don't understand what it takes to do what they do because I'm not them, but I am me. And I can tell you that I've been lifting for 8 years. I started at ground zero. I gained probably 10 pounds of muscle the first year, 5 the next year, then 3, then 3. Now I'm at 1 to 2 steady every single year. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's like, I don't need to take gear. I don't need to take steroids to try and look like these people. Because frankly, even if I did, I probably wouldn't look like them. Because gear is not a magic pill. Steroids are not a magic pill. It comes down to genetics and work ethic. Those are the two main determining factors. People always say it's like, it's diet, then it's training, then it's all this other shit. It's not. It's hard work, it's fucking dedication, and genetics. Hard work and dedication are the same thing, and then genetics. Those are the two main factors, all right? Because you can take someone who barely ever lifts, you can take someone who has never lifted in their life, and they might be more muscular than me if they have the genetics for it. Or you can take someone that's been lifting for 5 years and they don't look anywhere near me because they have worse fucking genetics than me and everything in between. It really comes down to hard work and genetics. And I think hard work is above genetics, frankly, because you can take someone with bad genetics like me, average genetics, put them in the gym, have them grind, and they can gain a lot of muscle, right? But you can take someone with like pretty godlike genetics but a shit work ethic and they probably will stay more or less the same. But genetics and hard work are the two top determining factors in a fitness journey. And I just want you guys to have realistic expectations. I'm not lying. Why would I lie about how long I've documented my whole fucking journey? You can literally go back to my first few Instagram posts. You can see the very first time I took a mirror selfie at the bottom of my Instagram. Scroll to the bottom. Go ahead. Scroll through the 1,000 posts and go see when I was 14 years old flexing in my kitchen by myself. Go ahead. Go find it. And then come back and show me that you found it. Screenshot it, share it to your Instagram story, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I'll be like, damn, dude, good on you. You found it. You found me, dude. There you go. I've been documenting my journey since day motherfucking one. All right, guys. So I'm not full of shit. I'm not lying. I have been training for 8 years, and this is the realistic expectation. Now I'm 156 pounds shredded. The most I can probably get in my life, if I get really, really serious, the strongest and leanest I can probably be is something around 175, 180 lean. And so I can gain 20 to 25 more pounds, which again is going to take 10 to 15 years, probably 10 to 12 years, depending on, how hard I can work and how much I dial myself in. And I'm okay with that because I'm going to be lifting for a lifetime. And, eventually, maybe in 10, 12 years, I might be able to resemble a little bit of a smaller Ronnie Coleman. But in any case, guys, that brings us to the end of today's podcast. I hope you guys got some value. If you did get value out of today's pod, please screenshot my face. Share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I'll reshare it to my story and send you a free gift. I think this was a pretty important podcast, guys. Realistic expectations are what you want to have because you don't want to go through the whole journey and then be disappointed by the result and think you're like worse than other people, think you're like a shithead, think you're not working hard enough, because you are, all right? If you're in the gym, if you're making it happen, if you're tweaking your diet, you are working hard enough and you are making it happen, and I am fucking proud of you. All right, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully you got some value. If you did get value and you want to learn a little bit more about how you can go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, just head over to my Instagram at _Garrett Wolf. DM me the word six-pack and I'll reach out to you and see if I can help. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace.